Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. We are a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. That'll get you right to us. Inside this box is something new with a different approach to some new technology. This looks like a standard watch, except it's got a little clump of something up on the top. And that thing, folks, is a thermometer or temperature reader. What is it? It's called the T01, the Bakeey T01, coming to us directly from Banggood, and they're shipping fast again. This one just was ordered about a week ago, and it's in here already. Really decent price. Check the show notes down below for a discount. I'll give you one if I can get a coupon from them, and always check there before you do anything, because we appreciate if you go through using our link. It helps us get more watches here. Let's take a little moment to talk about the specs on this watch. It's got some great stuff, and I got a red flag for you, unfortunately, as I usually do when a watch talks about doing ECG, okay? Now, they're a little bit clearer here. It's talking about ECG plus PPG heart rate monitor. Now, when you combine ECG and PPG, you're supposed to be able to get a little bit more accuracy in your heart rate. However, if you just talk about an ECG chart, which this one does, then you have to look at the Tethering app. And if the app is Fundo, which this one is, and you guys have watched this channel for a while, you know that that ECG is fake. No way around it. It's a fake chart. It's simulated. It's not unique to each individual. So if you try to do anything ECG related and you see the chart on the attached app, remember it's fake. Don't believe that. However, all the other kind of stuff in here is worth taking a look at because they don't mess around with that from what I can tell. You got a bunch of different languages supported, app language, and then the band language itself is a subset of that. It's IP67 waterproof. It has this thermometer in it. It says it has the ECG and PPG heart rate monitor as well. It does blood pressure support, blood oxygen in this one as well. We'll talk a little bit about that as we get to it because we have a way of assessing accuracy of blood oxygen. Step count, multi-sport pedometer, all the other kind of things are typical what you find on these watches. The G sensor, heart rate sensor in it, and of course a thermometer. It's a TFT 240 by 240 pixel screen, and it's a nice, attractive design all in all. Definitely would work as a dress watch, so let's take a look at it. We can peel off the plastic cover over. Whoops, I left a little dot on there. Maybe that's a sensor. I think that that's supposed to be a screen protector there. Well, can I push the dot away? Yeah, I did. All right, I have no idea. Usually there's a little plastic shipping cover on it, but this one looks like it was on a possible plastic actual screen protector, so I'm not going to peel anything else off. You saw it was already on. That's pretty amazing. Okay, it's been in shipping, so its standby time is nice and long. There we go. Let's pop it open and take a look. We have removable bands. We have your optical sensor here for heart rate, and you have the metal plates, which are typical for ECG. You usually have two plates on the bottom, and you touch the case or something like that, or a button somewhere, and that lets you get the connection electrically you need for doing ECG. There's the charging port or connectors, and in here we should have a charging wire. We do. And that's a little 2-pin connector that goes this way no, it's got little holes for a guide here, but the guide is not on here. So it magnetically coupled, not strong enough to hold it, but strong enough to make a connection. USB, plug it in, charge it up, and we're good to go. The last thing I want to show you in the unboxing part is the manual, which is English on this side. Gives you a thank you for doing it. And because it's got this thermometer technology, we're going to need to take a look at that. Now, there's a few different ways of doing thermometers or temperature readings. Here's the Fundo app it's talking about tethering to. We've covered that a whole lot. I'm not going to get into the details of tethering this one and how it works. Mainly we want to look at the temperature, because that's the unique feature of this, the body temperature. It's talked about right there. And this one requires you to actually hold the probe to your forehead. And to me, that sounds like, well, it might be a little more accurate than the ones that you just plain wear. And there's many, many ways of getting temperature. And you're going to see lots of bands and watches here on this channel coming up, because now with the coronavirus running amok, temperature is something everybody is interested in. Whether you're going to a restaurant or flying on an airplane, it's a critical factor for consideration. So let's dive into the watch and just go through the first overview of it. We've got the time display on here. Of course, when it's tethered to your phone, it'll be the accurate time setting. Come down, we've got a few different things. There's brightness, that's its lowest, and it's got some incremental. That's the brightest. It's not really, really bright. Don't think it would work too well outdoors, but you can see it here on the video. Battery is full, display, do not disturb here you can turn on, and Bluetooth, of course, that you want to have on when you tether it. Is there another down? Yeah, okay, so it just circles around here. If we press and hold on the watch face, we can change to a couple of different faces. Here's a small display of time and circles showing your date and step count. Here's a fancy one with a red stripe running through it. Notice there's no temperature shown on the screen on the watch face. It's just your basic pedometer stuff, which is usually your calories burned, your distance traveled, and your step count. And then there's that. So we got three different watch faces. We went down, we can go up, and we get into the app drawer where you've got your overall, it looks like daily step count listed here. We just unboxed it, so I don't have any information for you. Looks like we got weather too. If you're tethered to your phone, you can pull in the weather information. Last night's sleep time would be shown here, and this looks like it may be a chart that it would go into. And then you got sports, where you have a few different ones, icon driven, and they're really soft icons, very colorful, but also very dim. Climbing, it looked like cycling was there. We do have swimming, so this is a waterproof watch. When you have swimming as an app, to me that says, okay, it's okay to take in water. And if you get water intrusion and damage, and they claim, well, you shouldn't have taken it in water, it's like, well, why do you have a swimming app in there then, or an option for swimming? So because it has that, and it's rated IP68, I believe we saw, then I'd say, okay, you're good to go for actually using this watch underwater. See it there? Yeah. And when we tap it, it gives you a countdown, 3, 2, 1. And generally, on all of these, if you don't have a GPS module, which this one doesn't, then it's calculating basically your calories burned versus time against some sort of an algorithm that's built into it. I can pause it here, I can stop it there, and too little to save, so we're just out of it. Okay, then you got weather, and again, you need to be connected in order for your phone to derive the weather for you. You got messaging. Here's heart rate. Let's tap that. And it should turn on the diodes in the back. Cover it with your finger or your wrist if you have it on your arm. And a couple of things I like to look for on a watch, especially if you might be using it outdoors for exercise. How big are the digits? And is it white against black? So is it going to be fairly easy to read outside? We've got a heart icon that's animated here, taking a little longer than normal to get it. And here you go, 59. Pretty small digits, and it is white on black, but the whole watch isn't that bright overall, so you're going to have a little challenge seeing that outside. Now, here's the temperature, and here's the ECG. I'm going to tap on the ECG first of all. And it's showing you beats per minute. And theoretically, what it's doing now is using the electrical plates and the optical to determine what your heart rate is. And if I just cover the diodes in here, well, it went off. So let me resequence that, get it going, and cover the diodes without touching the electrical plate. This is my test to find out if it really is using ECG or not. If I'm not touching the electrical plates, I'm not making a circuit. I can't turn on the light bulb, right? So if I get a heart rate by just using the optical diodes, then I know ECG has nothing to do with it. If it just stays at 0, then I know that it is using the 2. And as you can see, not only did it give me a heart rate, but it's bouncing around a little bit. So this one obviously only uses PPG, or the diodes, for heart rate, and the electrical elements are not involved, even though it says ECG. I'm sorry, gang. I'm going to call it out when I see it. I feel you guys deserve an honest review. Yeah, I'm going to get to that later. We got blood pressure. Now, the thing about blood pressure is, don't trust the accuracy on any of these watches unless you test it against a calibrated cuff. And here's blood oxygen, SpO2. You see that there's green diodes on when it's doing this reading, and that's okay. That's going to give you a reasonable number, but in all the other devices we've reviewed in the past, we found the ones that have red diodes for this produce faster and better accuracy in the blood oxygen. And since blood oxygen is one of the readings we're looking for when we're assessing possibility of COVID-19 health issues, you pretty much want to make sure that you've got an accurate blood oxygen reading. So this one can do it, and you might use it as a guideline that if it looks like it's too low, grab a calibrated instrument or a medical professional that can test it to a better level. You got remote camera capability. Find your phone here, a music player, a timer. It says Alipay, but of course that only works in China, and it works by using a QR code. You're not going to get into any of that. And then finally, you got your settings here, which is the sedentary reminder timing that you can set, reset the watch, about it, your QR code for downloading the Fundo app, and of course powering off the watch if you're going to put it away for a while. And oh, it's even got an alarm and a stopwatch. So it's got a lot of different apps built into it. But again, the one thing about this one that I brought it in for is that temperature. So for temperature, we are really able to give a good check on whether or not this is accurate, because I've got a couple of devices. This thing called the Check Me from Wellu, $500 machine here with infrared testing for temperature that's highly accurate, used in hospitals. And then I got this puppy that we reviewed a while back, way before COVID actually, that is a heat sensing element. And you see the temperature here. Now I've left them in centigrade because this is also centigrade. I live in Fahrenheit over here, but what the heck, I can't change this to Fahrenheit. So I'm going to be stuck with doing everything in centigrade, but we'll check it all out. So the way this works, with it on your arm, or I presume holding it, I guess I should do it the right way, put it on my arm since we're dealing with temperatures. There's that little thingy at the top, and that is the temperature sensor on this one. And as the instructions say, you're supposed to hold it either on or close to your forehead. Now, having tested it a little bit, you have to do a calibration first. Watch me now. Hello. Come back here. Get back down here and touch it. It says it's initial calibration right now, or in calibration, and it's going to vibrate. And then you want to place it close to your forehead, which I'm going to be doing off camera. As soon as it vibrates, there's this module, and there's a front section and then a top section, and I'm getting a temperature either one. So I'm going to put it with this front section here facing. I'm still waiting for it to calibrate. There it goes. Now I've got it on my forehead. What do I do with my hand? Count seconds. 1, 2. My hands always want to be moving. Oh, it's still going. Hasn't vibrated yet. Aha, vibrated. There we go, 36.10 centigrade. Now watch this one. I'm going to do the same thing on my forehead. Go into temperature. It's giving me instructions about it. Can you see that in the reflected light? Comes here. I press this button and put it to my forehead, and it's making a little sound. And it's coming back with 36.4. Well, that's pretty darn close. Now, let's take this one and aim it just at my arm. Look at the number down here. It's where this square is what that number is. And my arm is 32.8. The inside of my arm, 33.7. I can't show you my forehead per se. Maybe I can take a picture of my forehead. I'm going to aim it at my forehead as if it were there, and I'm going to take a picture. Press the button, and I think it took a picture. Yes. Well, 36.4, 34.9. It's not showing the middle, but that part of my forehead, 36.4, matches up. This was coming in at 36.1. That's pretty darn close, folks. I'm going to give it a thumbs up on the thermometer section as being accurate. But again, this one, you have to actually hold it to your forehead in order to get that reading. It's not a continuous operating one that's getting the temperature from your skin. However, it's more likely going to be accurate in the way they're going to be doing it at the airports and at the hospitals by, the little gun that they put at your forehead, the thermometer reading device. I shouldn't say that other word. And it is getting the temperature from your forehead. So that's the trusted place for taking a reading. And they're all coming in within tenths of a degree centigrade of each other. Very good. So let's summarize now. We're talking about a nice, attractive dress watch in a package that includes a thermometer and a bunch of other biometric type reading data, heart rate, blood oxygen, blood pressure, fake ECG, and a few little fitness things in here. It's got some sports, last night's sleep time, you can get the weather tethered to your phone, and all of that in a rubberized, there's a good word, rubberized rubber silicone band with some holes, sweat-proof more or less. So you got kind of the sports but dressy look all at once. And again, it is called the T01, a Bakeey product. It's available from Banggood. And in the show notes, check to see if I got a coupon discount for you to get it down below $40. The thermometer is the big thing that goes along with this one. The fact that it's forehead reading and a one-time reading when you put it to your forehead looks like it's calibrated pretty closely to the highly accurate ones. So if you feel you are in the need of a device like that, if you're going to be a business traveler and want to check your own temperature before you go into the check-in line for your plane, something like that, this could be the winner. All right, we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching, gang.